First, a point of clarification. I believe that at the time the choice was made for Target to win, I was actually attending the election meetings for the Euros in London, and we were extremely worried that Jean would not hold the seat. Extremely worried, and we are extremely glad that she did, because that would have been such a backward step. So I know that other leaders are upset, but you know, that was the decision at the time. But I wanted to ask just some questions regarding what happened in the Euros, where you stand on the subject of negative campaigning, because there was negative campaigning, you know, against the DMP rather than pro what the Greens could actually do, but also negative leaflets about fat cats that I know certainly in London a lot of us aren't comfortable about, went out in the other regions. I wonder where you stand on that. I don't know if it's been made before about what you think about the usefulness of free post and whether we should keep free post sort of at all costs.
Okay, so it's two specific questions. First one on negative campaigning. Graham?
Firstly, I mean, I certainly, like I said this before you came in response to someone else's question about it. I'm more than willing to email to anyone and everyone a list of various meetings of GPEX and GPEX's campaigns and communications committee where there were very clear decisions to allocate certain resources, not necessarily money, but certain resources, as much as I can say without showing you the email itself, to prioritise London. Again, I understand the reasons for doing so. All I'm saying is that had we pursued a different strategy, we could have re-elected our MP in London, maybe beaten Nick Griffin. And,
okay.
well, I mean,
I'd actually like to move on from that point.
Yeah.
We've covered that. If you want to address the question about negative campaigning free post, I appreciate it.
Okay. Negative campaigning. I believe it's a responsibility. When faced with a situation like the expenses scandal or the threat of the BNP, I do believe it's the responsibility of even a party with a reputation and a deserved reputation for presenting positive political alternatives, to empathise with people's anger. You would speak to people on the streets and on the doorstep of the European campaign, and people were so angry about what was going on, what their MPs have been up to. Now, I believe that to simply say that, you know, we're not going to get involved in criticising or being negative about what the MP, you know, what the particular MPs who were implicated in the expenses scandal. I think, number one, politically it doesn't make any sense when people are angry about something, and they're right to be angry because, quite frankly, they were right to be angry and they were right to be negative about their MPs. If they were implicated in the scandal, it doesn't make sense to say, oh well, you know, this is not an issue. Let's just not talk about this. Let's not go down that road. Secondly, I think it's the duty of a political party sometimes to be negative about the alternatives. The main focus of any campaigning, I absolutely agree, should be positive campaigning about what you'll do. My main criticism of the European election campaign, this is something that I raised at the time, was that we didn't have a clear line on what we do. Far from saying we should pile on the negative stuff, what I was saying was that actually we should be very clear about what we would do instead, what we would do to clean the system up. If someone logged onto our website, within 1 second they should be able to see what the Green Party would do differently, what our line was. And yet, people said, oh, well, we can't take a specific line on what we do because then we could be accused of being holier than thou, or it's not our place to get involved in this debate. Well, number one, of course it's our place to get involved in this debate. We're a national political party. We believe in just, equitable and sustainable society for all people, not just those people who vote for us. And also, you know, we should, you know, MPs did something which deserves being negative about. They acted like fat cats, so I don't see the problem. And I personally thought that the fat cat leaflets were good. I mean, I think it's a question of tone. But I think, yeah, you should. There are certain situations, and you have to be careful about it, to not be negative. And again, I think the BNP are a perfect example. I don't believe we as a national party went after them as much as we should have. We sort of left it to the North West campaign. There wasn't this sense across the country that I believe should have been that the Green Party is the anti-BNP party, which I personally believe we should be. So I think when it comes to certain things, negative campaigning is appropriate. it's necessary, and we have responsibility sometimes, in addition to explaining, we offer the best alternative, or other alternatives might not be as good.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to pass that straight over to you about negative campaign.
Yeah,
So we're short of time.
I don't like negative campaigning, I'd rather not. I think, obviously, one can point up problems and we put out press releases about things that we think are wrong, that's fine. But I think the Fat Cat leaflet was over the top and not right for the political party. I mean, when I was a member of WDM on the council and chair, we had Fat Cat leaflets, and I don't have a problem with Fat Cat leaflets, and I've been involved with drama on the street about fat cats, as part of that campaigning group. But that's a different thing to do. We're a political party, and I think the political party I want us to see us giving out positive messages of what we want to see, a vision for the future, not going around knocking everybody. And I think people will respond better to a more positive vision than a negative vision. So there is a balance. Where is the difference between negative and positive campaigning? That's just a matter of judgment, obviously, and it has to be looked at. But on the whole, I'm not for negative campaigning. And also, I don't think it works. I know certainly for a fact that they lost one vote up in the northwest because their leaflet, I'm not sure what leaflet, but anyway, I was told that the main strapline was against racism. Well, this person, thought they were an environmental party and didn't want, and then they were going to vote green until they saw that. And then they saw against racism, they thought, okay, so what else? And that was kind of the whole thing. For them, that's what the Green Party stands for, against racism. Well, it's not, and she felt that wasn't, what she was going to vote for, and didn't, as it turned out with that particular strapline.